Heyo everybody, Haku here with my predictions for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 2, and this one's going to be called The Well. Not sure whatsoever what that name is supposed to signify, and if you guys are new for Season 7 to the channel, basically what I'm going to do for the predictions, I should be doing them every Friday. Sometimes I may have them up Thursday, but usually every Friday, and then I'll have the reviews on Monday, but basically, I'm not going to be using comic spoilers, and if I do use any comic spoilers, I will definitely warn you guys ahead of time and be like, yo, I'm about to say something from the comics, mute me for a couple seconds or something. I'll just keep you guys in the know with that. But basically, I just go through what I think will happen in the episode, and I mean, since it's what I think they're going to do with the next episode, it's typically not right, but oftentimes I do get a lot of things right, surprisingly enough, but most of the time, a lot of it's wrong just because it's hard to actually judge how an episode's going to really go beat by beat when you aren't the one actually writing the episode. But for this one, it's like, where do we even go? Where do we even go from that premiere? That premiere was insane, but I think we're going to, from the promos it looks, we're going to get a lot of the kingdom, possibly even all kingdom, but I don't think so. I'm hoping not. I think we have all these different locations. I think it'd be a waste of that if we didn't jump around an appropriate amount between the 4 locations, so I do think we need to do a little bit of jumping around. I don't think we need to spend a whole episode at one place very often. A few times I think it's going to be appropriate, but this episode I think they're going to focus on the kingdom, but they're going to have plenty of Hilltop as well, and we may even get a little bit of Alexandria or a little bit of the Saviors and Daryl. But I doubt we'll get the Saviors and Daryl yet, and there aren't... I don't know. I don't know what our odds are of getting any Alexandria and Rick's group that he's taking back there either, but I think the odds are good for some Hilltop stuff, and I am 100% certain that we're getting Kingdom stuff, of course. But I think the way that the episode's going to go beat by beat, I think we're going to open with Carol waking up. Carol wakes up, she's in this new place, and it's like, shit, well, what do? I don't know these people. Who are these people? And she's going to freak out a little, like, or at least be quite a bit confused, because she's waking up and has no idea where she is, but she's obviously at some other community. And then we're going to hit the credit sequence after we get just that little bit to tease us for what's going to be going on in the episode. And after the credit sequence, I think instead of going straight back to there, I think we're actually going to keep up with where we left Maggie and Sasha going to the Hilltop. I think we're going to have them pulling up to the Hilltop's gates. I mean, no reason to show the actual journey, but they're going to pull up to Hilltop's gates, get stopped by Cal and Eduardo, who, if you guys remember, are the guys with the spears that guard the gates at the Hilltop. They're going to let him in. Maybe at first they'll be like, yo, who are you, or whatever, and they're going to say, we're the people from Alexandria, Jesus knows us, Gregory knows us, let us the fuck in. So they're going to end up letting them in, and since Jesus does know them, Jesus is probably going to be the one to come to them first and try to meet them. He's going to be like, yo, what's up, why are you guys here? And then he'll likely either be shown the bodies in the back or notice the bodies in the back, and I think that Jesus is the type of guy, he's sort of going to just try to comfort Sasha and Maggie and be like, oh God, was it Negan? I'm so sorry. Why did we got you into this? And even though like they made the deal themselves, sort of, Jesus is, for bringing them in, he's going to blame himself a little bit. I don't think it's going to be any sort of storyline. I don't think it's going to be anything big, but he is going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's all my fault for getting you guys involved. And they're going to be like, no, it was not up to you. It was not your fault. So I do think he's going to try to comfort them and apologize a little. And then maybe he'll say, like, okay, we got to go tell Gregory or something, since Gregory is their leader. And that's when we'll cut away from there, maybe have a commercial break or something, and we'll come back to Carol and pick up where we left off when... This may be before the Maggie and Sasha stuff, if there even is Maggie and Sasha stuff. But I think after that, we may go back to Carol, and Carol's still confused, like, oh my gosh, where am I? It's like right where the title sequence hit us at when Carol was freaking out, and Morgan comes in and calms her down. He's like, yo, this is this new place I found, we're safe here, they took you in, they stitched you up or whatever, they got the bullets out and all that. So Morgan's going to come in and calm her down, and then it's going to go from there to sort of a flashback of how they got there, of Morgan and the guys he met talking about the kingdom, taking her to the kingdom, and maybe up until we get to the kingdom's gates or something like that, and that's when we'll flash back to Morgan and Carol, him having told her the story, and that's just to kind of catch Carol up a bit, and catch the audience up as well through Carol. So I think that's the way they're going to do it, and I think that'd be a pretty good way to do it. So Morgan's then going to wheel her out, and it's going to be the sneak peek scene that we saw during The Talking Dead and that they put on their YouTube channel. And it's going to be just Morgan wheeling her out. We're going to get sort of an introduction to the kingdom. Maybe we'll even meet a few of the kingdom characters, who knows. Or we may meet a few kingdom characters in that flashback sequence with Morgan. But either way, we're going to have him take her to meet Ezekiel, and then I think he's going to roll her into the theater, and I said it way back before the season started, and when I was breaking down the trailer, I thought that scene, because this isn't really a spoiler, because I think it looks different. It looks like the kingdom is set with some kind of church commune or something, but yeah, I can't even tell what it is. It has Bible verses on the wall, so I think so it's some sort of church, or maybe even it is like a private Christian school or something, but in the comics, it's a school is where the hilltop is, and Ezekiel, like, that's why I was saying when I was breaking down the trailer, I was like, the scene where Carol says, or the scene where Ezekiel introduces himself, and the one where Carol says, I don't know what's going on in the most wonderful way possible. I think those will follow each other, and I think they're going to be in some sort of school assembly hall or something like that, or a school theater, and it does look like it's going to be something like that, like maybe some sort of church, I don't know what you would call a chapel or something, or maybe it is a private school and it's a private school chapel or something like that, and that's where the scene's going to take place, it would seem. But we're going to get, before the midway point commercial break, we're going to get the scene where Morgan rolls her in there, Ezekiel's like, I'm King Ezekiel, welcome to the hilltop, and we have Shiva show up. And that, the reveal of Shiva, the reveal of a tiger, even though it was revealed in the trailer, the reveal of that is where we're going to have our midway point and hit another commercial break. When we come back from that, we're going to get right back into that scene with Carol responding like, I have no idea what's going on in the most wonderful way, or whatever she says there, and then we'll have Ezekiel talking to Carol a bit, I think. And maybe a little bit of Morgan too. So we're going to jump from that, the conversation from Ezekiel, back to the hilltop. And when we're back at the hilltop, they're now going to be, I think they're going to be in there with Gregory. We're not going to see them walking to the house or whatever. So once they're in there with Gregory, I think instead of being like, oh, your husband got killed or whatever, Gregory's going to be scared shitless. He's like, yo, does Negan know you're working with us? Does Negan know that, or how much does Negan know, stuff like that, or did you see Negan himself, actually? So I think we're going to get some stuff like that from Gregory, of course, and then I think that Maggie's actually going to punch him or slap him or something and be like, you care more about yourself than you care about the people or whatever, and you're more scared of him than whatever, something like that. She's going to be pissed off and slap him because she just lost Glenn, and all he's worried about is, oh my god, how much does Negan know? So, yeah, I think that's going to be a bit of a thing there, and Jesus is going to take her after she hits him to go see the doctor, because she does still need help. And it almost, I kind of think maybe we need to get her to a doctor before any of that, but I think that is then when Jesus, maybe after she hits him, she's like, oh god, and starts like going down, where she is having problems with the baby or whatever, and she's getting too worked up. So Jesus takes her to see Harlan, who is the doctor we met, and I think Harlan's going to check her up, say, yeah, you need vitamins or antibiotics or something. And I don't think it's going to be a huge problem, but I think it's going to be something that she may be off her feet for a tiny bit for. She maybe has to, well, she probably has to take some kind of medication for it. So I think that's what we're going to have here. Maybe she needs medication, and we see Jesus a bunch running around, jumping in trucks in the trailer. Maybe she needs some sort of medicine, and Jesus goes out looking for it. So that could be a possible storyline we take. And in the future, of course. But I think we might get some more Maggie and Sasha moments, and some more moments getting introduced to some more Hilltop characters in here as well. Maybe Sasha splits off when Maggie goes to see Harlan and meets up with somebody else. Then, if we're getting any Alexandria this episode, I'm thinking maybe here. Maybe here towards the end we'll just see Rick showing back up and being like, we're boned. So I don't think we'll get very much there, and we, instead of that, or next to that, we may get some more introduction to some more Kingdom characters and discussion there. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure how much more Kingdom we would get. And then for the very end of the episode, I would say have Glenn and Abraham being buried at the hilltop. Sasha and Maggie are there. Probably Jesus is there. Maybe a couple of the other hilltop people. Something like that, like a little funeral-ish thing, a little burial for Glenn and Abraham at the end of this one. I think that would be a cool way to end it. Well, I mean, it's not cool that they're getting buried. Still a loss for us as fans. But yeah, that's the way I think it'd be a good ending. So basically, the episode as a whole, it's going to like set up what's happening at the Kingdom and the Hilltop, or at least I would think in a best case scenario, it would set up what's happening with the Kingdom and Hilltop, so that next episode we can set up what's happening with Daryl and the Saviors and with Alexandria. So we can get into that next episode. Sometime in the future, I feel it is very, very likely that we will get an episode of nothing but Daryl with the Saviors, so maybe we won't get... I still think, because this episode is called The Well, and the episode after this is going to be called The Cell, and I'm not sure if that's going to be about, say, Rick and the Alexandrians, and the title has something to do with the cell in the cell that Morgan built, or if it's going to be the cell and maybe the Saviors like Daryl in a cell, and it's going to be a Daryl-focused episode. But I do think it's very likely we're going to get an episode that is possibly even a Daryl bottle episode, where we're focusing pretty much solely on Daryl, and we'll probably have Dwight there with him or something. And another thing that I feel is completely inevitable is a Tara-only episode, or Terrell and Heath-only episode. Like, it's going to focus on them and whoever the people are they run into in the woods that Tara hits with that gun. That kind of thing I think is almost completely 100% sure, because we always have an episode. Ever since season 3, we have an episode every single season that's a bottle episode. It's sort of a flashback, and we just focus on that one character, and it's like a flashback of what happened between seasons or something like that. So that's going to be this season's, I think, is going to be Tara and Heath's journey, and Heath very well may die. I know a lot of people are saying that because the actor got a different role that's pretty big. He's going to be starring in the revamp of 24, I think. But either way, he's a good actor, and I think that, of course, that's why he's getting these bigger roles, because he is a good actor, and I would love to see him stay on with us as Heath. But the thing is, Heath in the comics and Heath in the show are two completely different characters, even though the actor playing him, who is great, looks exactly like Heath from the comics. He is like uncannily just spitting image. But he does a great job as Heath, but the thing is, in the comics he felt a little bit more essential. He had a little bit more connection to bigger characters. He was there, present for some more important scenes. And in the show, he has been mostly thrown to the background. We've had some decent development with him, but not so much that I feel he isn't pretty expendable. So I think that Heath could be a episode 5 or 6 death that would be like, oh man, a character that we've known for a little bit got killed, but it wouldn't be too big a death. So yeah, I think that there's a very real possibility of us losing Heath, simply because in the show he isn't quite as big a character as he was in the comics. And that's kind of a dumb reason. I'm just saying that it seems likely, because I don't think just because he got a different role he's going to leave The Walking Dead, because you can always do both. But a lot of people are saying that, and I can't really argue against it. It does make sense that for his character to potentially be in danger of death. So yeah, those were my thoughts on this episode, and on where I think the future few episodes may go for us. And yeah, I guess that's really about all I got for us. So thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like this video, comment down there and tell me what you thought of this video, and what you think is going to happen. What are your predictions, all of that. I feel like I may be a little bit wrong, just because from the promos it seems like it's going to be just about all Kingdom, but I'm really hoping for a bit of Hilltop stuff in there as well. This is just how I would envision writing it if I was them, from where we left off. So we'll see how close I am. So, yeah, subscribe for more of The Walking Dead, both TV show and comics, and a bunch of other things on the channel. So yeah, check out the channel, subscribe if you want to. Follow on Twitter if you want to as well. I'll try to keep you updated there as best I can on stuff I do for the channel. That's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.